Hi everyone, I'm Gemma and I'm the owner of Gemma Redmond Vintage. And I'm here again on another Friday to share with you some new additions to my online collection. As always, these pieces will be being added to the website from next week, but if you'd like to find out more about any of them prior to them going live, you're welcome to get in touch, and you're also welcome to purchase any of the items before they go online if you would like to do so too. So let's get started. I have 8 pieces to share with you today, and they date from the Victorian era right through to the 1980s. So we're covering quite a wide time range. Colours wise, I was really inspired by the colours of autumn that we're seeing at the moment. Vibrant oranges, yellows, reds, browns. So that's the collection has a real autumnal feel to it in keeping with the season. So let's begin. I'll start by sharing with you, as I always do, what I'm wearing, and then I'll work my way onto this tray of goodies over here. I'll start by sharing with you these earrings first of all. Now these beautiful and elegant earrings date from the Victorian era. They're constructed from a gold-plated metal, and they are detailed with bullseye agate drops. I'll show you in a moment why it's referred to as bullseye agate. It's a little bit difficult to see on my ears from a distance, but these earrings are beautifully made and a real piece of history. They date from the mid to late Victorian era. I'll take them off so you can have a closer look. As you can see, they're gold and black, and their sort of delicate design and small drop means that they would look really great with virtually anything. So let's just take them off for you to have a closer look. Now you will have noticed that they are for pierced ears. They feature hooks, so these are great for those of you who are a little shy of clips, don't like them so much. So you can see here that we've got this great sort of scrolling Victorian, almost Gothic-like design at the top here of each bullseye agate, and you can see that it's known as a bullseye agate because it looks like a bullseye. We've got this deep, rich black sort of a base here at the centre, surrounded by a white band. Sometimes there are more bands on bullseye agate than others. This is just a sort of a single white band surrounding this black here. As you can see, they are really elegant and sort of typical of Victorian black jewellery as well. Perhaps these were a mourning piece. Next, let's move on to the necklace I'm wearing, and now we're going to come forward in time to the 1950s, 1960s. This is a great example of mid-century modern design, and this necklace was made in France and most likely in Limoges, because it is constructed from copper, detailed with this fabulous browny gold enamel with red poured glass dots on the top of each panel, which is and each panel is sort of a quite geometric in design. We've got squares and triangles and intermittently. I'll just hold my hair up so you can see the design doesn't go right the way around. The design ends in a chain at the back of the neck, which means it's slightly adjustable in size to the bolt ring can go through different parts of the chain. So I'll just unclip it for you so you can have a closer look. I sourced this on my recent buying trip, on my recent holiday, which included a bit of buying in France from Dijon, and as you can see, it's in fabulous condition too. And there we've got this open link chain here with the bolt ring, which allows the necklace to be slightly adjustable in length. There you can see on the reverse, it's in really lovely condition too. We've got lots of deep browns and reds, as I mentioned, perfect for autumn and winter. Next, let's move on to this lovely, really elegant bracelet. This is an antique piece. I feel it's late Victorian, early Edwardian in style, and that's when I believe it was made. It's gold-plated metal, and we've got these sort of filigree like motifs between what I believe are hessonite garnets in an oval cut bezel set within this gold-plated metal. It's a really elegant design, really pretty, and perhaps perfect for wearing with other pieces. If you have other garnet pieces perhaps, or antique Victorian bracelets too. I'll just take it off for you. It fastens with a bolt ring. So I'll just unclip it. Here we go. And you can see that all of these hessonite garnets, I believe, are mounted in open back mounts, so the light shines through them really beautifully too. It's a real quality piece and really nicely constructed, and yeah, very classic in design too. And again, lovely autumnal colours. Now let's move on to a brooch, and again we've got this rich deep amber colour, which is very typical of Bakelite, and that's what this piece is made from. It's made from a what we call in America they term a root beer Bakelite, because it has this sort of really deep orangey colour to it, and it's carved with floral motifs in sort of like a wreath design. It's a little bit difficult to see because of the reflection of the light. See if I can hold it up for you there so you can see the carved designs in it. Very subtle but very stylish, and it fastens on the reverse. We've got a good long fastening pin with a C clasp too. This piece dates from around the 1940s and was most likely created in America too. Next, let's move on to a pair of earrings I sourced in France, and I believe that these are 1970s. They feature gold-plated metal beads and caps, and then we've got wooden beads too. They're very similar in style to pieces created by the Francois Montague company. However, I don't believe these are by Francois Montague. They have a slightly different backing to the clips here. So I think these are more in the style of, it was sort of a typical French design to use these caps and beads in clusters, particularly around sort of the later 20th century. So I'll pop them on for you. Again, we've got these autumnal colours, browns and golds, as you can see, and these are a really classic earring. They're a good size, not too big, not too small, and they're sort of great for wearing perhaps just with jeans and a jumper. They're just a really elegant piece, timeless. Okay, let's move on now to another brooch. This brooch, we're going back from the 1970s, where these earrings date from, to the turn of the 20th century, circa 1900. This is again a French piece. However, I didn't source it in France. I sourced this in the UK, and it's to those of you in the know, you'll see that it's constructed from horn. And it was created by a known maker of horn jewellery in France called known as P.H. Lucas. There isn't very much information online about this person or in books, but I do have a book here which I'll show you in a moment with a couple of examples of their work. This particular piece depicts a bee, as you can see, and it's beautifully carved and the light shines wonderfully through. I'm just trying to get it to happen through the wings, and you can see the texture that has been carved into the wings to give them that real sort of very gossamer-like effect that you get from bees and in other insects' wings. You can see on the reverse here that it has a tube hinge, really indicative of the age of the piece, and a C-clasp, and very, very faintly under the body of the bee it is signed by the maker of the piece. Now, it was very, very popular. Horn jewellery was very, very popular during the Art Nouveau period because it was so good for replicating the bodies of insects, as I mentioned, with the very sort of luminous wings, gossamer-like wings, because it was such an almost transparent material. And I have a book here which has some examples. This is called Nature Transformed, and it was produced by the Macklowe Gallery in New York when they had an exhibition of Art Nouveau horn jewellery. So for those of you who are interested in learning more, I'd recommend this book. It's really great. Here they have an example of the work of P.H. Lucas, but in slightly different form. This is a letter opener with a bee motif at the top, as we see in the brooch. Horn jewellery was so popular during the Art Nouveau era that in fact people they provided kits and guides on how to carve your own horn jewellery in the home. This is an example of a French guide and kit that was sold at the turn of the 20th century. However, so a lot of horn jewellery we find is unsigned. However, this piece is signed by P.H. Lucas, a great example of Art Nouveau insect horn jewellery. Next, let's move on to another pair of earrings. Again, a French pair of earrings. These are 1980s, and these are really cool and sweet, and that's why I chose them. They're great. We've got sort of a peachy plastic cabochon here with a peachy cord bead, and then this fabulous resin plastic bow between the two. They are clip-ons. I'll show you the reverse of the other one so you get an idea of how they look. Oh, I've got some of my hair in there. And yes, you can see they are clip-ons, and they're just really fun. And make a nice statement. Again, perfect for autumn and winter, and the peach really pops too. My final piece is an accessory, and this is a wonderful example of Art Deco era celluloid, again most likely made in France. I did source this piece over there. This is a dance purse, and it's in fabulous condition. We've got a lovely flower motif on both sides of the celluloid purse, and then it has its original cord here and red celluloid beads as well. And then if we pop open, we can see that it has this fabulous mirror inside and its original powder puff too. So it would have been really an important part of someone's evening or day out. What's even more special that we don't always find on these examples is that it has its original lipstick container too. I'll just pop this open so you can see. They would have put their lipstick in there and then used it as and when they needed to. Very often these are missing from these celluloid creations, so it's a fantastic piece. Right, let's recap. We have this fabulous Art Deco, wonderful condition celluloid dance purse from France. These French 1970s wooden bead earrings. This Bakelite 1940s brooch, this Art Nouveau era P.H. Lucas horn bee brooch, these French 1980s bow earrings, this Hessonite garnet, most likely gold-plated bracelet from the late Victorian era, these late Victorian bullseye agate earrings, and this Limoges enamel 1950s, 1960s necklace. Thanks so much for joining me again, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.